Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Super Deluxe Gamescast. It is Thursday, March 31st, last day of the month. For anybody watching right now live, yes, I am mustacheless. I fucked up when I was shaving, and I had to take it all down.
The bane of any mustache.
I know, man. I was so pissed at myself because it looked good. Before we
that happens to my eyebrows. We're getting close. You fuck up one, you got to take the other. You know.
You really, you really do. You're
just trying to even up your edges on your cheeks. For me, that's the big one. I get that.
That's why. That's why I let Vicky trim my eyebrows. I can't do that. I don't have the.
Do you actually get your eyebrows trimmed?
Vicky trims them for me.
John,
because,
I'm proud of you.
Well, after months of her begging to let me do it, and Derek, look, being friends with you for so long rubs off eventually. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I got him using moisturizer. Like
I'm moisturized now, man. Yeah. Like, it's I'm trying to look as good as you are.
Well, when I was up there for Afterlife, Derek one night took me aside and was like, "I want to see what this clay will do with your hair," and so just spent a while just playing with it to see if he could get like a nice little wave going, and it was good.
And here to Queer Eye all of my male friends. I will assist all of you.
So, real quick before we kick off here, somebody chat Marines and Grooming Impossible. Before we kick off here, everybody will notice watching live and anybody listening, one of our community mods, Pilnock, is on the show tonight. I want to take this opportunity not just to address.
No.
What's that? No.
Don't acknowledge that I exist. Disgusting.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what are you wrong? I want to take a quick moment and thank not just her, but also Dio and Julian and Charlotte and Rar for being such incredible community managers. We could not maintain our little SDGC community without any of you. And you guys are really all the backbone of kind of our efforts to grow this into the really cool, accepting, tolerant community that it's become. And you guys have all played a huge role in that. So today is community mod or it's Mod Appreciation Day. And I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. Stop being earnest. It's disgusting.
I know. Fuck everything.
Thank you.
That's better.
Put back the irony partition. Let's go.
I know. So we have a really cool guest. Katie at PikaChulita on Twitter is back joining us live here. Katie, I feel like it's been way too long since you've been here.
It definitely has way too long. But we're going to make up for lost time tonight.
Yes.
The last time you were here, we held a funeral for poor Mario.
Yes, we did.
That's right.
You gave a wonderful, wonderful eulogy.
Father John put on his priestly vestments. And
then you were burning the fuck up in the priest costume, and it was just quite hilarious. You were so glad
that seems kind of
it,
indicative of something we should maybe talk about later.
Hey, look! If you are officiating a funeral, you have to put your priest vestments on. Yeah, that's what you officiate a funeral, right? Like that's what a priest does. Do you officiate a funeral?
I don't know if that's the right term.
I don't know. Is that the right term? I think it's officiating a wedding.
Preside?
You maybe
preside sounds better.
Preside sounds good. I'll take. I was presiding over a funeral, and Katie's right. Like I had
running a funeral, managing.
I was running that shit.
I was chat the funeral.
Yo, everybody in chat, smash
cast the funeral.
Smash that like button for the funeral.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe. Rest in peace.
Smash that F for me, Ma.
There's one.
All right, we're gonna go to chat with read some donations. R.I.P. Big Dog.
Oh my god.
Hashtag save the animals.
Waluigi enters the chat and he just says, "I'm not here for the funeral. I just want to make sure Mario's dead."
Waluigi treating that like a unisex bathroom.
Katie is right though. I was like visibly dripping with sweat 10 minutes into that shit. It was awful. Oh my god.
You were going through it.
It was really bad. But everybody wore black except for Justin, by the way. Justin was
I didn't get the memo. I'm sorry.
Like that John just threw you under the bus though.
Damn.
It's like this motherfucker.
I'm happy to throw Justin.
Damn,
Anyone under the bus.
I couldn't even be respectful for the funeral we had for Mario almost a year ago. I'm so sorry.
Well, Katie, since it's been so long since you've been on, what have you been up to recently? How's the channel going?
Honestly, I've just been keeping really busy. Just kind of juggling life shit, wedding planning, and brand stuff, kind of expanding on that. It's the beginning of the year, but I'm already trying to secure some, pretty potentially big brand activations and things like that. Possibly some hosting stuff, and we'll just have to see kind of how the year turns out.
You'd be such a fun host. I hope you get that.
Me too. I think so too.
That'd be so much fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think so too.
I think I would too. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you've got the charisma and the personality, and
The voice.
Stop it.
your
Oh my God,
voice,
please.
yeah. Like, no, seriously. I think you are well suited to host just about anything. I think we'll all agree on that. And it's just a delight to have you back on, Katie. We missed you.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you. When you had asked me that yesterday, I was like, oh my God, like literally in the process of calling to make sure I wasn't getting blown the fuck away by a tornado. It was like, I also have two questions.
I figured,
one of them was just throw it in there, like just so since you're not getting
If
blown
you're not
away,
dead
I know
tomorrow,
you're there, like,
can
fighting
you-
for your life right now? Yeah, it's like if you're still here, if you're still with us, and I don't have to shoutcast your funeral. Would you like to join us?
If you have electricity and an internet connection tomorrow,
As long as I'm not officiating your funeral, will you please come on the podcast?
Right.
I also want to point out, we mentioned this earlier, but like I apologized like 4 times for calling to make sure Katie was okay. I was like, I'm sorry for bothering you. I know you're probably worried about the hurricane that's blowing down on you right now. Just want to make sure you're okay. So again, sorry for bothering you. Just want to make sure.
It was like, sorry for existing. I'll go fuck off and die. I'm like,
I wish more men would say that to me.
I was like, I kept telling him, I was like, you're fine. I promise. I literally was not doing anything. I was probably about to boot up a game or something, but he was just like, it was basically along the lines of, I'm fucking human garbage. I'm so sorry I bothered you in your extremely busy life. I'm so
God,
sorry.
I wish
And
that were
was
my
like,
DMs. Yeah.
So I will say to Pilnock right now, like anybody who knows me knows what I do for a living. And Pilnock, trust me, I am sorry for existing.
Thank you. Thank you.
I apologize
Finally.
profusely.
Been
All
waiting
right.
years.
So we got a really fun show tonight. Always, we're going to talk about what we've been playing recently, and we're going to talk about we got a few things to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the PlayStation Plus stuff that was revealed earlier this week. We're going to talk about the situation with Sam Maggs and artists on dev teams not getting credit for their work, which is, what happened with Sam Maggs and Rivet is the most recent example, but this is far from the first time this has happened. And we got a couple other small things we might mention as well. So we will go ahead and kick it off with what we've been playing. And since it is Mod Appreciation Day, what doesn't our mod here talk? Do you play video games?
Am I muted? No. We were talking about this beforehand. I'm not really sure what the concept of a video game is. I think it's like an interactive movie of some kind.
Justin, can you explain, please?
It's enough. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So
got it.
But truthfully,
what interactive movies have you?
the game that's been consuming my
been
every
near
waking
lately?
hour is the one who pulls out the sword will be crowned king. It's free on Steam. You can play it right now.
Googling right now.
God, I don't know that I want to tell you anything more about it.
Is this a real
do.
game?
It's a real game. The one who pulls out the sword will be crowned king on Steam for free. So you have to pull the sword out of the stone, and it's very, very, very long sword. And if your mouse goes off of the sword, you drop the sword and you start over, right? But you can play online, and online it resets the difficulty and length every time someone successfully pulls out the sword. So every time someone pulls out the sword, it gets heavier and longer. And right now, if you try to play the game, you cannot move that sword at all because too many people have won. But if you play offline, then you have a better chance at winning. And just like trust me when I say you want to win the game, because the like thing that it takes you on after you've pulled the sword out is so stupid, but like delightfully so. Anyway, free little game on Steam. 10 out of 10, recommend it. And I will beat it online because I'm going to quit my fucking job to do it.
So
I am so intrigued by this.
I am
Yeah.
too.
Game.
Actually,
I literally Googled it and it exists. It's real.
How did you come across this?
I would never answer a question more incriminating than if I need to buy a rug or not.
So is that all you've been playing recently? Is whoever pulls the sword from the stone will be
The
crowned
one
king?
who pulls the sword from damn it, the one who pulls out the sword will be crowned king.
That's it,
I
that's
have
it.
it open because I can't remember it and I have to read
Let's just call it the one who pulls out will be crowned king.
Hell yeah, with no heirs. I'm
Jeez.
doing some no build Fortnite with my friends. It's really fun. I'm still doing Halo Infinite with friends. It's fun. I'm terrible at it, and I do make them carry me, which is just great because I do love to be a burden to everyone I know. But Fortnite no build has been great. I really like it. And you can build in playlists if you still want to build, but I don't. I think that's
one
it.
he pulls out.
Pokemon
Fair,
Arceus, I guess,
fair.
a little bit. A
Oh
lot of Candy
god.
Crush. You're right. We brought
Yeah,
that up
well,
earlier.
lots of Candy Crush.
Never not
Candy
playing
Crush.
Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Lots
Candy
of Candy Crush.
Candy Crush and that Kim Kardashian game, you know, because that's all women.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
the Jeremy Renner app. I actually downloaded a copy of it.
Yeah,
so
great,
that I could
great.
keep
The
playing
Jeremy
that.
Renner app.
It's playing a
Oh.
shitload of Evany because of that
Wait,
one
wait, wait,
YouTube
wait,
ad.
wait. There's a Jeremy Renner
Let's not
app.
glaze over that. There is a
There
Jeremy
was.
Renner app where you can like.
There
talk
was.
to Jeremy
It's been
Renner.
shut down. It was
It's
like
been
a,
shut down
there's a
for
couple- yeah.
a lot of really concerning reasons, actually. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's just a
Okay.
it's a callback from a couple years ago.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't like the way that sounds.
The most recent Hamburglar episodes about it, not to plug another podcast, but also just Google it. It's
It was bizarre. It was one
It's
of the weirdest
exactly
things I've
what
seen
you
online.
think it would be.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's basically the Kim Kardashian app. It's like the same kind of like whatever, but like
Jeremy Renner.
corrupted.
but Jeremy Renner.
Well, I was
like,
gonna say, but Jeremy Renner. That's,
yeah.
that's all it really needs to be said.
The
yeah.
icon for like the app icon is just like a super close up of Jeremy Renner's face. Ugh, everything about it is great. I'm so sorry. Okay, continue with
please
anything
tell
else.
me that. Please tell me the face is like low res Jeremy Renner.
No, it's
like,
really
just
high def, and
a-
they like hyper blued his eyes. It's creepy.
Oh, that's
Applied like a
Oh,
super
no,
sharpening
not
filter
the
over
eyes,
every
yeah.
detail.
eyes.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, they face tuned Jeremy Renner, who's already like attractive. You didn't have to do that, but
Jared. Oh, Jared's in chat. Jared John says, if you want porn in the absolute worst place, the Renner app was it. Well, that's all I need to know.
Oh,
and
no.
Italian Renner was on it.
Wait, and what now?
Italian Jeremy Renner.
I don't even want to know what that is.
I don't even know what that is. I'm just a.
No, it's
What?
Love your nails.
like absolutely.
You could name yourself anything on the app, so people would just name themselves Jeremy Renner, and then there was a bunch of impersonations of Jeremy Renner, and all the accounts would like interact with you as if they were Jeremy
wow.
Renner instead of actually being Jeremy Renner, and one of them was Giovanni Renner. Anyway, that's my favorite game of all time.
Any app that gives people too much freedom is doomed to such
Yeah.
an existence.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, this is I'm loving this
Mamma
video.
mia.
This video game talk. Katie, what have you been playing recently?
I've been playing a fuck ton the last week. I've been playing a fuck ton of Ghostwire. I love that game.
Ooh.
It is. What's up? What's up?
Well, no. I was gonna ask something, but I'm gonna wait.
Okay. So yeah, I started playing it last week, and at the very, I think either over the weekend or at the very start of the week, I discovered the beauty of. I think it was over the weekend actually. I discovered the beauty in playing Ghostwire while listening to Japanese city pop, and it is like my latest obsession.
That's
It is
awesome.
Oh, that seems
It's the
aw-
most
that sounds
It's
awesome.
the most amazing thing. Like I shit you not. I spend most of my nights just last week. I haven't even touched Kirby yet because I'm like, maybe I just need to wait for Kirby after I beat
Forgot
Ghostwire.
Kirby was out.
I was waiting to stream it. I was like, listen, community, I love y'all. I'm gonna wait to play it on stream. I'm gonna start it on stream. But I've just been so into Ghostwire. So I spend most of my nights and most of my work day sitting there listening to city pop while I play Ghostwire, and it is the most cathartic shit. It is
yeah.
amazing.
I think you just
Like,
convinced
it is
Eric to
just-
pick up Ghostwire.
Yeah, and
It's
play it while listening to a shitload of city pop. Let's go.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. It's just amazing. I have been playing that for the last week. I've also been been playing the Fortnite no build mode, but I will say I definitely miss building.
I miss
think
having
because-
like you can put a thing up and hide behind it immediately. I miss that.
Right, or like if I need
get
to like,
trapped.
climb up something, like to get something, you know, I can just build up to it instead of having to destroy the whole structure or something like that. And I'm not the biggest fan of the weapons from this season, or I don't know, I'm not a burst fire weapon person, but I have been playing it because it's something I've been playing a lot just with my community. I want to say that those are like probably my most notable those are probably like the games that I've been into really the most. It's just been playing a shit ton of Fortnite, and then, like I said, I bought Kirby, but I haven't touched it yet because I'm so determined to 100% complete Ghostwire. Like I'm not even finna get into it because I could just gush about that game. But that's pretty much it for Fortnite and Ghostwire.
That's such
So-
high praise.
Katie, I've actually got a question about Ghostwire.
Okay.
As somebody who has not played it, is this a horror game?
No. So it is, I believe, from the person that made The Evil Within, which is already a benefit.
It's from
Yeah.
It's from Tango.
Yeah. So is this a Shinji Mikami game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. See, that's why
he's a producer on the game. Yeah.
that's why I thought
Yeah.
it was horror.
So it has horror elements to it. Probably more. I want to say it has horror elements to it in the sense that like BioShock has horror elements to it.
That makes sense.
Maybe a little bit more horror-ish, but it's very much like so it takes place in Shibuya. And it is just, it does such a good service to Japanese, like just the culture and the folklore. Like you deal with yokai, there's tengu, there's like different, it's just, there's tanuki, like there's just so much different stuff going on. But it's like the cityscape is absolutely gorgeous. Like you heal by eating different foods like yakitori,
That's really
karaage, different dongo. Like it's just and it's open world, right? So it's got like the, you know, you can fast travel to different points, to different shrines, get to cleanse the Torii gates. And, you know, you may have, there's side missions and there's little collectibles that you get. And it's completely open world. You can scale the tops of the buildings, like glide across to them. So it's got like the little, you know, the map has the little icons that show like, oh, you did this here. There's this collectible here. Like all this different shit. There's like spectral vision, which is kind of like eagle vision in Assassin's Creed, but way better. It's just, I struggle to find a Bethesda game that I don't like at this point.
Is it PlayStation
Like, I know they
only?
just published it, but they what
It's
what'd you say?
PlayStation and PC right now.
Yes, PlayStation.
Oh, okay, then
Yes.
I can't play it. I saw the PlayStation logos and I was like, well, shit. But PC.
Yes, and I've
I
been
could
playing.
do?
That's what I have it on. I have it on Steam.
Ooh, perfect. Okay,
Now
cool.
this is obviously coming to Xbox at some point in the future, right?
Well, yeah,
Like-
it's one of the it's case like Deathloop where Sony had secured timed exclusivity
Right, yeah,
for
before-
games that now Microsoft owns the studios of.
Yeah,
so yes,
I
it is
was-
eventually coming to Xbox.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured.
But I think it's like a
Um,
year before that.
I also want to
When-
shout out VG247. I don't remember the writer. Alan Wen wrote an excellent article, I thought, about kind of the difference in authenticity you get from something like Ghostwire compared to like Ghost of Tsushima or Sifu, in terms of like that representation of Japanese culture and history and all of that sort of stuff getting melded in.
Yes.
Oh,
And,
I'll have to read that. Who was their author?
Alan Wen was the author, who
Okay,
I'm not
cool.
personally familiar with, but yeah, I remember seeing that and just excellent article. It's not there to shit on other games. It's just there to talk about like, look, this is the difference between when you have a Japanese team make something about their own culture to show to the world versus even
Absolutely.
at the best of times when you have a Western team try to do the same thing. And I
Yeah,
thought
it
was a
very
really good-
much. I forgot who I was talking to that said that they do a really good job at not bastardizing it. Like it's you can tell that the people that made this shit like probably either lived in this area at one point or conferred with the people necessary to figure out like how can we do this service, how can we do this and do a service to Japan and Japanese culture. Like it is so, and for me being like, you know, the history nerd that I am, having a whole history degree, like, cause I mean, it's a present day game. Like it's nothing that takes place in the past or anything like that, but it's just, you can just tell that they took extra time and care with the culture, and it's just great. And I think that's another thing, right? Is we don't see a lot of games that take place, like we get games that take place in Japan, right? But a lot of them are not like that, like sort of urban cityscape. Like literally one part of the map that I love going to is like this, like it's like a mega mall. It's like a multiple stories, like shopping center area, and there's like you have to go into like this person, guys. There's another mission that you have to go into this guy's house, and he's like a porter, and it's like you see apartments that actually look like apartments, like it look like modern times, like apartments in Japan. You see the difference between the more traditional style apartments versus this, and like it's just, talk about it. I don't want to.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because you know, there was a lot of talk about Horizon Forbidden West, and like, you know, it draws a lot from Native American culture, yet there is, I don't think, any Native American representation on that development team, as opposed to a game like Ghostwire, where, you know, it's very heavily steeped in Japanese culture, obviously, and the developers are Japanese, and so I feel like in cases like that, you can always tell when there's that much, you know, like there's that level of care that is given to kind of portraying the culture that you are familiar with, the culture that you grew up in the most accurate and best possible light, simply because it means something to you personally. And I think that's always something that is incredibly valuable to me. And it's not something, not to get off on a tangent here, but I think it's a conversation that we haven't had enough of in the past, and I'm glad that the industry is finally starting to address some of this stuff. That article that Derek brought up and that Pilnock linked in chat is a great example.
I'm gonna read it once we.
It's a fantastic article,
bookmarked.
Katie.
As soon as you said it, I was like, and yoink.
Yeah.
Just yoink that shit right in there. It's a fantastic article, and it sums it up better than I could ever. So I will just recommend people read that article, so I don't sound like an idiot. I'll go ahead and go next real quick. I finished Stranger Paradise, and I'm very excited to record our review tomorrow with CJ. I got so much to say. Did
you like it?
Oh yeah, I did actually. Oh yeah.
It seems like the most dudes being dudes game I've seen in a decade.
The whole
What is the name of this game again?
Final Fantasy Origins Stranger of Paradise. And
that's the one where the guy keeps interrupting. He's like, I don't care.
No, literally, that's the game.
Yes,
like
that is exactly the game.
Katie, I'm not kidding you. There's a boss fight where you fight Lich, who is one of the four fiends of elements. If you're familiar with anything about Final Fantasy, and he says, he's in the middle of talking. He says, because I am, and then the protagonist Jack jumps up, punches him while screaming, I don't give a fuck who you are, and like it. This is a Final Fantasy game.
The entire main cast are men, derogatory. Like,
listen, I just remember
there are two women.
Trailer for the game, or like not the trailer. I think it was like footage, and when he walks off and like hits play on the music, and people were just editing it to like make it play different sounds. It was fucking hilarious.
Is this the one where the actual music is still terrible?
It's Limp Bizkit.
It's Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
And that's the real one?
Yeah,
it's
Limp
It's
Bizkit.
actually Limp Bizkit.
It's actually Limp Bizkit.
This is the only game ever to use both Limp Bizkit and Frank Sinatra in its
guys,
marketing.
I
don't know what that means.
Frank Sinatra's "My Way" is the theme for assholes internationally. Okay, so
Yeah, no, it is my theme.
It's the theme for dudes who think that Joker is a deep and empowering movie.
Yeah, and the entire movie, Jesus, the entire game can be summed up with like a fist bump. That it's Fist Bump, the video game. It fucking
doing bro shit.
Dudes charging their crystals together.
No,
let's go.
Katie. No, that's how they meet. Jack is walking to the city, and he's like, my crystal's vibrating. And then like two big muscular men come up behind him, and they're like, our crystals are vibrating too. And he's like,
We're
I'm going to
vibrating
kill.
Switch them off. You're gonna waste the battery.
Well, Jack turns around and he's like, I'm on my way to kill Chaos. And they're like, so are we. And they do a 3-way fist bump, and that's how the party meets.
Are you fucking serious?
No, yeah, I'm 100% serious.
Yeah,
You can look it up.
no, that's how the
I
three
regret
main
to inform
characters
you.
meet.
Dudes rock.
That's how they meet, Katie.
These
Dudes rock.
dudes suck so bad they circle back around to rocking.
Yeah, this is some dude ass shit.
It's
I'm
the
hearing.
same thing that makes
This
Jackass
is
high
the
cinema.
movie.
No,
Yeah.
oh my God, Katie. Jack will interrupt people. They're telling him about like well, here in Cornelia we've had a lot, and he's like, shut up, I don't care. I'm just here to kill Chaos. He actually says it's more of a thirst. And I'm like,
See,
oh my God.
I joked about Jackass a moment ago, but genuinely the only way to improve this game would have been by turning the crew into like effectively the Jackass crew. That's really the only way you could make this better.
He gets a cut on his face early in the game, and somebody says, hey man, you got a cut on your face. He says, nothing a little spit won't fix. It's like,
Oh my God.
There was one cutscene
but
in the demo that I played, where like you go into this town and like everybody's like scared of him, and this kid throws a rock. The woman in your party like goes up and she talks to him, and his dad had died or something, and so she has like a little heart to heart with him, and then everybody else just kind of gives some condolences, and she's just like, Jack, say something, and Jack's just like, where's the mayor?
Oh my God. I feel like the perfect promotional item for this game would be
A fucking
some
beanie, maybe.
good old a beanie or a 7-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, body wash, more oil.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Mouthwash.
Absolutely. Like, this is a game that needs to be in an Old Spice commercial. Like that is what this is.
the
Like,
vibe
this
This
is
game
I'm
was
picking up
sponsored by
from this.
Manscaped, right?
this game was sponsored by Axe body spray. Like no bullshit. But it's also a lot of fun to play. It leans into its incredible stupidity, and I just fucking love it for that. Square Enix, send me a beanie. I'll fucking rock that shit on the podcast. I will wear a Stranger of Paradise beanie.
This is the beanie guy right here. This is
Absolutely. And and the other game I've been playing is, I'm almost done with it, Kirby, Forgotten Lands. I'll go through this quick. It's fucking delightful. I love Nintendo games. I love Kirby. It's the first 3D Kirby. It's essentially Kirby, but Super Mario 3D Land. Like, don't think like Mario Odyssey when you think of this. Think like 3D Land.
Kirby's the only thing I've been playing for the last week, and
It's fucking fantastic.
the way I would describe it is it's like Nintendo made a 3D Kirby game for the GameCube like 20 years ago, and it fell through a hole in the sky.
Actually,
and,
Derek,
and it could not
I've talked
be
enough.
fucking better.
Derek, you talk about Kirby. You've been playing it too. So
Kirby could not be fucking. I mean, it could be a better game, right? But I don't know that I needed it to be anything different from what it is.
Game.
It's a great game. It could be better. There's room to improve, but like it's an excellent game. Kirby doesn't miss, and it's a GameCube game. It's just a pretty GameCube game, and I don't know how I can say that and that not be the highest praise I give a game.
let me ask you this, Derek. Did you ever play Kirby and the Crystal Shards?
Yes.
Did you love that?
I love that game. I will admit that one of the first things I tried to do in this was try to combine powers, which you cannot do. But there's a lot of powers, and they're a little more flexible, obviously, than in something like Kirby 64. You get a few more attacks, and you can you get this little like power museum at your main town that you can eventually like level up your powers and give them new abilities. So like it's just
expand on them.
Yeah.
I feel like though with Kirby, my expectations are so like low because Kirby doesn't have to do anything but be cute, and then I'm like, I'm in there.
Yeah, you're there for the
I played
vibes.
Epic Yarn.
Yeah.
I played Epic Yarn. And I fucking loved Epic Yarn because I'm like, oh my god, Kirby. Kirby could just sit there, and I'm like, you're amazing. I would die for you. So it's like that's all I need basically.
Right. I'm there for the vibes. The level design's good. The music is incredible. It's a very pretty game. It's a very charming game.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
It's hilarious to see Kirby try to fit his entire mouth around various objects and become oddly shaped. He swallows a staircase at one point and has to bounce around as a staircase. And I
Swallows
have
a
to-
light bulb.
Right, I have to deal with my wife sitting beside me, pointing out that Kirby's arms at the front make it look like the staircase has nipples, and I'm like, you need to stop.
Oh my god.
But like, it's just a wonderful, wonderful little game. It's all vibes.
It is up there with Planet Robobot for me as my
Is
favorite
there
Kirby
a
game.
plot in Kirby games?
I've
I've never played a Kirby game before. I didn't mean that as an insult.
It's
somebody
like
will steal his
defeat
cake,
evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like
So the
a bunch
Kirby
of
plots-
dogs
yeah.
will steal his friends or something, and then he has to go get them back. And by
And then he's
the
got to
end,
kill God.
Yeah, by the end, you're killing God, who is also a bleeding eyeball angel.
I love
Um,
JRPGs. Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Be not
So-
afraid. Yeah, that vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he is not. Katie, he's not joking. A dog will steal your pal Waddle Dee, and by the end you are fighting an interdimensional beast. With
it
like-
goes from
like,
Kirby to
ba-
Bloodborne, like always.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Um,
like, and the design will be based on like Uriel, the archangel from the Bible. Like it's fucked up.
So you do know that technically speaking, Kirby is like unkillable, right?
right.
Yeah, no, he's
Kirby-
like
Speaking.
he's
Yeah,
canonically
like-
Nintendo's most powerful character.
Yeah,
the only
like
thing that
and-
makes Kirby not horrifying is that he's on my side.
Yeah, and
right.
he's like so
and
cute.
like- yeah, and then he's fucking cute as shit.
He's
and
just
it's
a
just
happy
like,
little child.
but he can't be killed. I mean, remember when we saw the fucking Smash trailer for the fucking Tekken character they brought in, and like Kirby was the only one to survive that shit. Because it's like, and me and my fiance were actually talking about it, and we were just in the car one day, and I don't remember what we were talking about, but it was like somehow, some way we got on the subject of how Kirby's basically unkillable. Kirby
Yeah.
is basically
Kirby's a
just
great old one.
immortal. And yeah, basically an eldritch being. And so like he was wondering, he was like, I'm trying to figure out who was based off who, Kirby or Majin Buu. And it turns out because Kirby came out first, and it does turn out that Majin Buu, they got some of that inspiration for Buu from Kirby.
I actually
That's cute.
can
I
see
actually
that.
described Kirby to somebody once as like, what if the classic movie monster the Blob was raised by Tom Hanks from childbirth? Like that is essentially Kirby. You know,
He's so amazing.
if you think about it, Derek, it makes sense. Have you been playing anything else?
No, just Kirby. I mean, I played a little more Elden Ring, but like I've yelled about Elden Ring for the past
Kirby
3
is
podcasts.
after Elden Ring, dude. Kirby is exactly what I need.
I needed Kirby in my life.
I like to think that Kirby needed us too. Justin, what have you been
Pink
playing,
Boy
bud? We'll close
Summer.
it out here.
Same as last week. Still just bouncing between Destiny and Elden Ring. Still actually really liking Elden Ring, which I'm happy to report since I tend to bounce off of From Software's games. So I'm enjoying that, and I'm at the point with Destiny that I always inevitably get to where I want to run raids, but because I work till 11 p.m., I cannot get people together to run them with me. So
Did you see the
I'm
new
just.
skins?
I did, and I'm very mad that hunters are the ones that if the monster team wins, that would get the Godzilla skin when I am a warlock. So
Oh, yeah, but if the
Wait a
mecha
second.
one wins,
I recently got Destiny. I picked up Destiny right before the new expansion came out.
Witch Queen.
Witch Queen. Yeah.
Witch Queen came out, and I have been playing it now. Granted, I'm still working through the Witch Queen missions. However, I may have to now that learning there's a Godzilla skin. I was
Well,
seeing
maybe.
people
It's not
talk
in
about
yet.
Godzilla
So,
today.
It's not
Okay.
in yet.
they're deciding
So what-
between two.
People have to
what
vote
this
on it.
is there's like they started doing this last year. There's like two groups of skins that are going to be the Halloween costumes.
Okay.
So this year last year I forgot what it. I think it was like monsters versus dinosaurs. Dinosaurs won. The dinosaur ones were actually all really cool. And this year it's robots versus dinosaurs. So there's like a bunch of like mecha inspired designs and then monster inspired designs. And you know, both are pretty cool, but I'm a huge Godzilla fan, and as I'm a warlock, and the Godzilla one is a hunter skin, and warlocks and hunters have had a long rivalry. I'm
Mech wins, you get that sick fucking 90s jazz purple
Yeah.
and teal one.
Yeah, no,
I'm
the-
obsessed with that
I gotta
one.
look
the
this
Gundam
up.
one is really cool.
I just posted the link to the tweet in
Yeah,
in
the
chat.
Gundam ones are really cool.
Twitch chat.
So yeah, I'm kind of hoping for the mech ones, but yeah. So I'm at the point where I want to raid, but I work till 11 p.m. So And
Yeah.
I work weekends.
The fucking helmet. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
Yeah, the
Dog.
designs are really cool, actually. Like, I don't even play
They look
Destiny
so
anymore.
good.
Bungie's
And-
art team has been killing it. Like, they've always been good, but the past couple years they have stepped it up so much. But so yeah, that's basically where I am. So I'm basically going to keep chipping away at Elden Ring until I maybe have a day off when other people can run a raid in Destiny, and that'll be it.
Awesome. All right. Well, okay. So we've been through what we've all been playing. And I want to, by the way, I want to point out something that Jarrett raised in chat real quick. When I say that Kirby is the blob raised by Tom Hanks, I'm talking Colin Hanks, not Chet Hanks. Like
Who
the,
the
like that. Like
Colin
you got to.
Hanks?
Colin Hanks is the good son, and Chet Hanks is the Tom Hanks son that is covered in tats. And
What's the
and,
one that
Hanks is
faked
the
an
white boy
Australian
summer
accent?
guy.
Chet
Wait, one
Hanks
of them
is
has-
the only one that matters though somehow. So
wait, hold on. One of them has a fake Australian accent.
Yeah.
I didn't know
It's
this.
Chet. It's
It's
Chet.
gotta be
It's
Chet.
Chet.
Yeah, of course.
It's Jay. You don't need to.
Yeah, it's the accent that he wants to be Jamaican.
Oh, that's what it
Right,
was.
but it-
Fuck, you're
Wait,
right. It was.
what?
But it
so
doesn't
good.
sound
Australian.
any like it's not. It's more probably along the lines of Australian.
Oh my god, I did not realize he was trying to be Jamaican. That's so
He wants to be
fucking funny.
he
Oh
really
my
is
God,
the
he's
stranger
down-
of
He
paradise.
wants to be from the
of-
islands. That's his thing.
So
I mean,
he's
Australia's an island, baby.
So he's-
Right, sounds like you're from.
so yeah, no, Derek's right. He's the protagonist of Stranger
He's
of
the
Paradise.
stranger of paradise of Tom Hanks' children.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it.
I'm sticking with
It's
that.
absolutely what he is. Jesus, that's sad. I did not know that.
Oh,
Uh,
shit.
so first big
Therapy.
topic for the night. Derek, you want to kick us off on our PlayStation Plus discussion and kind of open that up to the floor here?
Yeah. So everybody's been playing this fucking rumor mill business about Spartacus for a long time now.
Should have kept that
PlayStation
name.
initiative that was going to be, depending on who you asked, you know, PlayStation's answer to Game Pass, their method of bringing back backwards compatibility. You know, who knows? It was gonna cure cancer and solve world hunger, depending on who you asked. Everything got revealed today, and it's basically just an expansion of and kind of realigning of the PlayStation Plus tiers, which in retrospect is obviously the way it was going to work, right? Like PlayStation Now was not a service anybody signed on for, and instead of having PS Plus PS Now plus whatever they're going to call Spartacus, we've got somebody's going to have the details pulled up in front
It's
of them. 'cause I was not
PlayStation Plus,
prepared.
like
which
essential,
is like the current
and
version.
then current
Yeah.
one,
And then there's premium is the top
premium,
one, right?
and then
Extras in the middle.
yeah,
Yeah.
extra and premium.
Because
Yeah.
Extra is going to
Man.
have like a sort of a Game Pass style library of current era PlayStation games that
Yes.
you can download. And then the Turbo Nerd Edition, the third tier, is the one that's going to
Not a
have
turbo nerd.
access to like PS1, PS2, and PS3 games. I don't remember if PSP is part of that or not.
PSP
There's
is
only
part of
like
PS1
that.
and
there's only
Vita
like
is
4
not.
PSP games that matter, so it's fine.
PS1 and PSP games are going to be there for native play right away.
So
I think
so are
PS2
PS2
as
other
well.
games are via stream.
So no, PS2 games are native play as well. PS3 games are
Oh,
streamed.
PS2 games are going to be there. Yeah.
So
120 a year.
which is actually less expensive than Game Pass
Yeah.
annually. But yeah, it is.
Yeah, Game
but-
Pass is actually like the monthly rate, and especially for what you get for
If
it.
you combine
is
Xbox Live
pretty
and
good,
Game
but
Pass,
yeah.
because that's part of it, right? Like you got to
Yeah.
be. It's both. It's the online and it's the game service. So
Isn't there like Xbox Gold or something? That's both of them.
Game Pass Ultimate is like the one that
Is-
combines everything.
right,
and, Yeah,
right.
it's like 180 a year.
So
Okay, sorry. Again, I've never played a video game, so this is all.
oh, it's fine. Well, this whole thing's a learning experience.
Thank you. Yeah.
So when
filthy
you so when
PC
you
gamers. So
when you start getting past the essential, which is where we're at now, you get into extra, like we said, and premium. Now, when you look at premium, and this is something that I noticed, it
Is
provides all the
premium
benefits from.
is premium like Venti or Grande? Is it like a second or third?
Yeah, it's
You know,
yeah.
I like the
Venti.
Premium's the top level
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it's
Premium's
Venti.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Venti. Premium is Venti.
I thought Venti's the
Um,
smallest.
We're not doing this.
So here's what I noticed. When you look at extra, it says it adds a catalog of up to 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, including blockbuster hits from PlayStation Studios and third-party partners. When you look at premium, it adds up to 340 additional games, including PS3 games available via cloud streaming, and a catalog of beloved classic games available in both streaming and download options from the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP generations.
Okay.
If you take those numbers and you look at how many games are on PlayStation Plus now, you look at how many games are available in the PlayStation Store, and you look at how many PS3 games were available, and somebody did the math for all this, how many PS3 games were available on to download on PS3. That leaves, if you do the math, that leaves about 40 games total from the PlayStation, PS2, and PSP, which isn't a lot. So I have a prediction for this right now. You will not see any classic Square games. You will not see any classic Capcom games.
This is all going to be first party. Sony,
It's all going to be first party games. I don't think, especially with a lot of these games getting remastered by companies like Squaresoft or Square Enix and Capcom. I'm showing my age there. I do not think I think people are going to be vastly disappointed in that collection of classic games available on the premium tier, because I do not think you're going to see anything but first party games there. And you're not even going to see Metal Gear on there because they can't, because they got hit with that copyright strike for having archived historical footage in Metal Gear. So they had to take down, for example, Metal Gear 2 and 3 from PSN. And they have not been able to put them back up yet. So you're not even going to see the Metal Gear games up there. At least not Metal Gear 2 and 3.
Seriously, how do you copyright? Never mind.
They didn't
How was that your game in the
They
first
just
place?
had to remove it from digital stores because the licensing expired.
Licensing, that's what it was, right? Licensing.
How do you
But if it's
license-
historical footage, who the fuck owns it?
Yeah.
I
I think
You
I
would
think
think that it's just like what the
The
world
Turner
owns it?
Broadcast Company.
I
yeah,
assume
like,
it's a piece of history that the British Museum has somehow found their claws
Yeah,
on
it's
it.
the fucking Brits' fault somehow.
They're like, oh, this is culturally important. It's ours now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just like they do with every fucking thing
Right.
else. So-
Yeah,
what's fucking interesting to me is that they announced this now and it's not launching until June. Like that seems like
I mean,
That
April
this
makes
was
sense.
just
That's only a couple months. Like
yeah,
you're
it's
giving
basically
us,
April.
yeah.
Yeah, this announcement
Tomorrow's
was
April
basically
1st. We got to deal with April Fool's jokes.
No,
Ugh.
I'm logging off for the first time in my
Yeah.
life. I don't have the mental fortitude for fucking April Fool's jokes this year.
Felt.
Chucklefish is going to be like, Witchbrook is out, and I'm going to lose my mind. And they're going to be like, haha, got you. And I will die. Oh, wait, no, also Chocolatier and also Sports
I
Story.
was about to say Chocolatier. That'll be the one. That'll be my 13th reason right there. That'll.
So
if Concerned Ape fucking tries it.
it's also important to point out that in a difference from Game Pass, day one first party PlayStation titles will not appear on the service. For example, like the day Thor or God of War Ragnarok drops, it will not be available on PS Plus, as opposed to something like Halo Infinite, which is available on Game Pass day one. You're not going to see that here. Jim Ryan's reasoning was something about it'll harm their games, like which
No, they want to make more money. That's what it is.
Of course,
They want to
yeah,
sell
no,
you a
of course.
subscription.
It'll
also
harm
if
their
you buy the
games. No,
game.
it'll harm your
Right.
pockets. It'll
It'll harm
harm
their
you
revenue.
from being able
Right.
to afford your solid gold toilet that also has Wi-Fi and
And it weighs your
a
poops.
toilet with.
yeah,
I would
exactly.
love
The
a
And it
bidet
toilet with
has
sends,
Wi-Fi.
sparkling
automatically
water.
sends them off to
LaCroix?
the doctor, and it also serves you beer and keeps the beer cold while you shit.
Is there a toilet that will do all this for me?
Well, not for you.
Oh,
Filthy
Right, not
poor.
for you.
No, yeah, I'm
You're not rich.
Probably, I don't deserve it. How do we feel about this? Because after the initial, for me, like after the initial, like, oh, this is new and cool. Like once you start looking at it, I'm like, like okay,
Library's
like
everything. I mean, like,
yeah.
is it going to have shit like Tomba on there, right? Like, how many games lost to time will pop back from this? I think it's going to be a big deal. Potentially.
So there's
Go ahead,
yeah,
Justin.
at this point, like I can't really say anything about the service because we have no idea what the library is going to be. We just kind of have a vague, these are the goals that we have for the, these tiers kind of thing. And honestly, this whole announcement was basically just an end of fiscal year, getting it out there so we can talk about it in financial calls kind of announcement, more so than it was for us going like. So we are just sitting and waiting till they actually announce the actual content for it.
What's wild to me is I've still got a PS Vita. I love my Vita. It has got an incredible library of classic PlayStation 1 and PSP games. And they could drag that over to this service and literally make because like Derek said, this is going to depend a lot on this classic library. Right, like people aren't a ton of people are going to sign up for this to play PS1, 2, 3, and PSP games right there on their PS5. That's what I'm going to sign up for. But if it is just a smattering of first-party PlayStation titles and that's it, I'm not signing up for this. It's not worth it. I don't even use PS Now. Has anybody here actually ever used PS Now? Has anybody here ever actually played a game on?
Dear
PS
God,
No,
why?
I don't.
But
own a
my
PlayStation.
fiance used PlayStation Now, and he said he liked it.
I love myself too much to engage with cloud gaming.
You you used PlayStation Now, right? Did you like it?
Don't tell him I said
Yeah,
that.
he said he liked it.
Interesting.
Sorry, that was the reason I kept muting and looking
Yeah.
over because our
You're
Chinese
fine.
food just got here.
No,
so
you're
I'm
good.
trying
No.
to
Hell yeah.
divvy up
Yeah.
the food.
grab that shit.
Eat it on mic. Who gives a shit? Food important.
Yeah,
Oh,
eat that
no,
shit.
Orange chicken.
I'm gonna wait. I'm my stomach is empty and it'll just enhance.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah. Liquid dinner. Yeah. We're right there
yeah.
talking
I'm
about
gonna
Catholicism,
eat,
huh?
but I'm gonna eat afterwards. But
I love.
yeah, he said he liked it. He said he liked it.
I'm
Well,
allowed to
I-
say that I'm Catholic.
Yeah, I grew up Catholic. Something not a lot of people know about me.
That actually tracks. So
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not a practicing Catholic, and I haven't been for 10 years. But
yeah, that also tracks.
a lot of people, I love people glossing over the fact that the PS3 was so shittily designed and such a difficult platform to develop for that they still cannot get PS3 games working natively on
It's
the
pretty
PS4 and
incredible
PS5.
that people at the time that the PS3's architecture was revealed, you had engineers going like, hey, this is going to be a nightmare to develop for now, and it's going to be impossible to work with in the future. And
Why? Do we know?
Because
It
it's
was
just the
cell
stupidest
processor.
design thing.
It's a long story. The PS3 has one of the most complex designs of any basically
Like since the
any
Saturn.
any consumer electronics product. It was ridiculous.
Do you know
Yeah,
what
no.
NASA's doing? Could they help? How
I'm
long
just
has
gonna
it
say,
been been in
I
space?
can
Like,
run-
lend us some people.
I can
Maybe.
run a lot of PS3 games on my computer.
I was gonna say, hasn't someone figured this out by now?
We've got
There's some, but
stuff
you
working.
actually need an extremely
decent.
powerful.
You do need a
CPU.
Jamer
wild.
computer for sure.
Yeah.
Shamer.
Ba- I think I wouldn't be surprised if
It's
maybe
soft.
they were trying to work on PS3 stuff, but they didn't announce it yet because right now this service is being posted as something that's available for PS4 and PS5 owners, and there's no way that'll work on PS4.
A series
So
of stupid questions. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Great, thanks. Because I wasn't joking. I don't really play a lot of video games. I do have an Xbox, and I just give Robert Microsoft money every month for
Right.
something. I don't know. So Xbox, you get, if an Xbox game comes, like Halo comes out, you get that for free forever. PlayStation's
Correct.
not doing this.
correct.
Correct.
If an old Xbox game, so like if I wanted to play Halo Reach, I can play that forever.
Mhm.
PlayStation is doing that, except for maybe PlayStation 3, which
Some
is
of
getting
them.
kind of weird.
For some of
Some
them.
of them,
Maybe.
yeah.
And then there's like other weird things like Slay the Spire or whatever the fuck. I can play that for like a month on Xbox, and PlayStation's also doing that.
So with
They're looking
Slay
at,
the
like, random-
Spire, so that stuff isn't changing. That would be like part of the monthly games that they offer, like
Just like
in the
random,
Essential
not
thing.
PlayStation games.
Yeah,
Yes.
correct. And
Okay.
those, as long as you claim them, they're only available to claim for a month, but as long as you have an active sub, anything that you've claimed you can play as long as you have.
You can have that forever.
Because I
It's
think
just
with
you
Game
have to
Pass,
download it within that window.
You have
So
to
like,
claim
You
it.
have to
if
claim
yeah,
it while it's up there.
because
But
like
once
with
it's
Game
added to
Pass,
your
when
library,
something leaves
it's on your
rotation,
library.
it's done.
Okay,
even
thank you.
if I was playing it, but with PlayStation, like I can go back to stuff that I claimed like 2 years ago and never downloaded. I can still
You can still
re-download
download that.
Oh,
Yep.
that's
So-
only
And even if-
PlayStation. Xbox doesn't do that.
correct.
Xbox does do that.
Oh,
Wait,
Xbox
does
does.
that?
Does, but they don't have.
It's
They
not.
don't.
It's
they're
not
pushing
monthly.
more-
Like
Yeah.
yeah.
I've definitely
Yeah.
lost some Game Pass games. I feel like.
Okay,
but
so like Games Pass will give me a game for like 3 months. PlayStation's
Yeah.
like if you download it, it's yours.
fucking subscriptions. This is
Yeah,
this
Okay,
feature
this is
sucks.
so
bullshit.
weird.
It's
Yeah.
It
This is
Bring
like-
back
like,
cartridges.
this
This just shows how much bullshit that these subscription services are. So
Yes.
I want to clarify because I have fucking Game Pass. I mean, it's only $10 a month, so I don't really give
Yeah.
a fuck. But like,
Yeah, I've got the one for both.
I have it for PC, and the
Console.
rules may be different on PC.
yeah,
versus
so I
Xbox
have it for
console.
PC. Yeah, so
It's a little
like
different on
basically,
PC.
my understanding now, I don't know because I haven't like. Okay, so with Xbox Game Pass, I am definitely I don't have an Xbox. Okay, I have PC, Switch, PlayStation. I am a Nintendo PlayStation PC girl. So, and I got a PC because pretty much everything that comes on Xbox is gonna be available on PC. So there's really no point in me getting one. But so obviously Xbox Game Pass has a huge selection of games that you can download. I can get like literally all the fucking Five Nights at Freddy's game, which I did at one point until the creator turned out to be a fucking
Oh god, I
sort
remember
of
that.
dickhead. So I was like, fuck that guy. So you can get like Control now. You can get like
Everyone should.
you
I
can
star in that
Alan-
game.
Yeah, basically, yeah, starring Tolnock. The Alan Wake games, like there's just Donut Country, there's like indie games. So there was even like We Happy Few on there. I love that game. So, but obviously they will have them in there for kind of like Netflix, right? They may have them in there for a year or 6 months or whatever. When it leaves the Xbox Game Pass catalog, do you lose if you have as long as you have redeemed
I'm pretty
it?
sure you do. I think I've tried to go
Yes.
back to games I had
Yeah.
before, and I would need to buy them now because they're not in Game Pass anymore.
Correct.
Okay,
think
so
I've
you
heard
can
the same.
only access them while they're in Game Pass. Okay,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
I was
They
not
leave.
aware
They
of
leave
that.
like leaving Netflix.
Okay.
It's out.
Yeah,
But
and I hate
PlayStation
it.
forever.
I hate that shit.
Yeah,
PlayStation
okay, but
forever.
PlayStation,
Yes.
everything that comes in, like for PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Plus will give you,
You're like claiming
This-
the ticket, and then you got it.
yeah,
forever.
it's like
Yeah.
you're good.
Okay,
so
cool.
whatever let's say Hades comes out for fucking PlayStation, like PlayStation Plus. I'm talking about PlayStation Plus here. Hades comes out in PlayStation Plus in let's say January. So you basically had from like January 5th to like February 5th to like claim it. But after like now we're at the very end of March, tail end of March. You have that for good. As long as you claimed it during that period, you've got that shit. It's set. But obviously Xbox, I mean like PlayStation Plus only has like a couple games. Now and then you said with PlayStation, this subscription service, you said that there are going to be some games that are like that, and then some games that are like Xbox Game Pass.
I
But
think
it sounds
a lot
like it's going to be kind of a hybrid. Like, is
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically so how it works is it's a combination of like the PlayStation Now service, because PlayStation Now actually does have a lot of games that you can choose to download.
That wasn't always the case. That was something they added like in the
it wasn't,
last couple
always
years.
the case, no, but it has been for the past few years. And so like stuff that was like through PlayStation Now, it rotated in and out like Game Pass.
Right.
I only
so
had one beer. This shouldn't be this confusing. Like,
But it does sound like it's a bit of a perk for the PlayStation side of things if you get to keep them. And then, where did it go? Sorry,
Well, the thing
someone
is
in
you have
chat
to-
said that if you stop PlayStationing, paying
yeah,
for the
if you
subscription,
if you
Right.
stop subscribing, then you lose access. But the moment you resubscribe, you get them again.
Yeah, you don't if your sub lapse, you don't lose like access to everything you've already claimed. Like you just lose it for the time that
I
it's
need a
lapsed.
fucking
But if
and if
social
you
worker.
resubscribe,
So-
yeah, if you resub, you'd get it all back.
So I think the reason that this is all kind of troubling to me is that like take everything we were just saying and package it. Like you can take all that and package it into a broader discussion about what is game ownership, right? Like, do I own the games that I play or not?
I'm glad that you said that. I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm glad
No,
that you
please.
said that, because when that brings up my point of like I was about to say that when PlayStation Network goes down, you don't get to access games that you bought digitally.
Yep, that's right.
And I'm
I
like,
wasn't-
bitch, I paid money for
God.
that. I paid my own money for, like, you can pay full price for a fucking game. If PlayStation Network is down in any capacity, that little lock icon is going to be right there.
Yep.
Oh, if
No,
anything
that
ever
game.
happens
You
to
have to
Steam,
down-
I'm going
Yeah.
to jump off of a bridge. Like,
Oh,
Even,
yeah.
if,
I'm
you,
with you,
even
baby.
if you have it downloaded, I shit you
Yeah.
not. That
No,
happens.
she's right.
Or no, wait.
No,
Hold on.
That's,
Was it?
that's a bug that you can fix pretty easily. You just have to
Is
renew
it?
your licenses.
Oh, thank God.
Because I'm all
Okay.
digital on my PlayStation. Sometimes like overnight is when they do maintenance on the internet around here.
I wasn't aware
And
of
because I work nights, that's a lot of times when I'm playing
I
games.
think-
I frequently get booted off and I play stuff all the
you
time.
still
It's
stuff
not
like
a problem.
PT though,
Okay.
right? Like,
Okay.
like shows how this can end up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
So-
that's well, see, and
Or you
that's the
live
thing,
somewhere
right?
rural.
Like, right. So
America
so-
still has third world internet infrastructure. So
Oh God, yes, it does.
You're
And
right.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
you know,
I'm
look
very
at- look-
fortunate where I am to have like a good internet connection, and the way I have my place set up, I can have a wired connection
you
too.
probably have better internet than John, and he lives between. Well, you live near DC, so like,
yeah, my internet
Kansas
is
City
shit.
fiber,
should.
baby. Ah.
yeah.
So like, here's and when you talk about game ownership, like I have dozens of classic PlayStation titles downloaded on my Vita. Let's assume the best happens and all those titles get dragged over to PS5. I guarantee you I will not be able to download them. I will have to pay for them all again, or I'll
Right.
have to subscribe to the service.
Because the
Oh,
different
service,
consoles, different
service.
thing. Yeah.
Because Sony will
It's not the
I
Vita version; it's a
guarantee you,
Vita game on PS5. It's
Sony will
different.
not allow me to transfer those purchases. I guarantee it.
Well, and
You
it's just
own
like
this.
also when my fiance got his
I own this
PlayStation
boy.
5,
Son.
we had to Google a fucking list of like games that like had like dedicated like PS5 versions and
Right.
whether or not it was a free upgrade.
right.
And only part of the games had actual like it was free upgrade. It's like it's the same fucking game, and then other ones it's like, oh no, you have to buy the whole game, and it's like, or even if you don't pay like this whole like $60-$70 for it, it's like, oh, like 25.
It's usually like $10.
Spider-Man was. Shit,
Yeah,
he
it's-
paid like I think 20 something for one of his, and I was like, damn, like
What?
you know. And here's the thing, right? If it's going to the necessary parties to the developers, I'm not gonna complain because they already don't get paid enough as it is. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
complain.
Yep.
But I don't. If it is, then I'm not gonna say a fucking word. I don't know. I just feel like, especially considering like now, if you're having new features with the PlayStation 5 version, I completely understand. But when it's like we just upscaled the graphics for this basically, and that's it, I just feel like that's really necessary.
Going forward,
Upscaled.
what I want from all these services, where you talking about PS Plus or Xbox Live or Nintendo Switch Online, and Xbox has been doing this for much longer, is whenever the next iterative consoles come out, whenever there's a Switch 2 or PS6 or like an Xbox, whatever the fuck they call it, I should be able to play all my purchases from my PS5 on my PS6. I should be able to play all my purchases on my Switch digitally on whatever follows the Switch 2 or whatever you want to call it. It's same thing with Xbox. And it all comes back to like ownership of games, which is why these subscription services bug me in a way, because you know, I'm paying for this, but look at Netflix, like based on the Netflix model, I don't really own it. And I worry about what stuff like this means for games preservation going forward. There are already so many games that have been lost to time, that people are just never going to get the chance to play because they're, for whatever reason, these companies just will not reissue them or drop them on their online service or whatnot. And I hope that this is the start of something different for companies like Sony, and I hope that Nintendo follows suit and does the same. I have no hopes that they will. I have no expectation that they will.
One thing that I really do hope is that, like, if they're offering especially like classic games on their service or whatever, if we also just could have an option to just, you know, purchase them separately too.
I'd
like,
love-
no,
yes.
you'll get all of them if you sub to the service, but like if you just
You
want
can buy this
one of
individually.
them, you can just
Absolutely.
buy
Yes.
one. Yeah.
Like, do you know how much fucking goodwill Sony would build with me if they just let me transfer my PS1 purchase on my Vita to my PS5? You know how much fucking goodwill they would get from me?
They
And
can
it's
make
not
it
going to
for you.
It's not. What's that?
Does Xbox let you do it?
So Xbox,
It's select titles.
Okay,
right.
I'm just trying to
Xbox,
compare
like-
some like
Yeah.
apples to apples to like
where
understand like
where
what's the
Xbox is
norm.
backwards compatible, like your purchases are basically have been saved going forward.
yes.
For a long time now, and that's super
Basically
cool.
everything
like, I'm thrilled
from-
for that, but
Okay.
Nobody in this industry is doing
Yeah.
backwards compatibility like Microsoft is.
Microsoft
just
has
nobody.
put a lot of work into it, but unfortunately, it seems like they hit more licensing issues than anything with bringing some of these older games back and available. Like some stuff you can only play if you have the disc, even though you have to download a separate file to play it and stuff
Okay.
like that. So it seems like they're kind of hitting issues more with licensing and stuff. But Xbox has really tried to do it, and because it's all Windows-based stuff, and they use kind of more standard like PC parts and stuff, they're not going to hit issues like with the PS3, where it's just incredibly hard for those.
So
most
it's like the
overcomplicated
intent
piece
is
of
there.
shit.
They have
Yeah.
the intent. You can tell that they're actually trying.
Yeah.
That's what I've gathered from it, because I feel
Yeah.
like every, I have so many friends of mine that are like Xbox users and stuff. And one of the biggest things is like Xbox really gets like backwards compatibility typically right.
No,
Or at least
they've
try
done it.
to.
They've done a really phenomenal job with that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's been legal issues that have gotten in the way.
Right, of course. Well, and then at that point, I
of
think it's out of,
performing it,
I mean,
yeah.
that's kind of, it's like we want to, but we just hit this roadblock, which is
Yeah.
no, if we could, we would,
Right.
but they still succeed in doing it when they can. But that's been, and I say this as somebody that is, those are my two things, Nintendo and PlayStation. That was me. I hate that is what Sony has sort of developed a reputation for, is the lack of backwards compatibility and like even shit like crossplay. And I mean, that's a whole another can of worms. But really, for me, with this whole like tiered situation, it's all to me about the catalog. And I think that that's kind of what it boils down to. Each person is like whether or not, because they didn't really specify like what sort of games they'd be having, right? They
There's
didn't
no
really-
information.
There's
about the
no
library.
information at
That's
all.
what I thought.
Just-
That's what I thought. Yeah.
It
For
was
me,
literally
it's
just an announcement that they're changing the pricing
right.
tiers.
Okay,
for
that's what I
PlayStation.
wanted to be sure I hadn't missed anything. Yeah, that's how it is for me. It's like it all boils down to like what do you have to offer? Because I think we can all agree that there are some games that are like just so near and dear to us that it's like, if this game became available, would I pay to like this certain tier, whatever tier that it is,
Sell my house
just
for some
to
games.
access this game?
Yeah.
Like
Final
there,
Fantasy
I think
VI.
we all have like, like right. So it's like we all have.
Not
Okay.
that one.
While we're on topic, what is everybody's one game that they would probably do, like pay one of those subscription tiers for?
Oh
to
no.
access?
Oh boy.
Sorry, I hit you with a real big like. Hey,
Jesus, no, there's
know.
so many of them.
you can
Please
name a
for
couple.
me.
Okay, you know what? What's that, Pilnock?
I said hi, Stormy.
Oh, I thought you said
Yeah.
start with me. I was like, okay.
No.
John
I
was
already
about to
said-
apologize again.
I already
I'm
said
sorry.
I'm
Tomba.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Um,
sorry.
I'm sorry for existing. Mine, I guess, if I just had to pick three, they would be Parasite Eve, Xenogears, and Vagrant Story.
aren't all three of those Square?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not going to be part of that, are they?
No, they're not. And so,
Not you rubbing salt in the wound.
Yeah.
nope, probably not.
I already said Tomba
Tomba's
earlier
so
as like a
good.
joke, but like I think Tomba would be hilarious to see
Tomba's
come back.
fucking
It's a
great,
game like
dude.
way too few people played, but everybody played the demo of on that demo disc on their PS1.
I can't believe
And,
you found a
like-
way to bring Tomba up twice on this podcast already.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
Derek is
but
gonna
like
keep running with it too.
Tomba would do it. Here's the problem, right? And like these games, a lot of these games lost to time have been lost for so long that like they've been available for certain folks.
They're around.
They're around. So like
What are you talking about, Derek?
so like
Pirates of
what's
the Caribbean movies.
I know. Let me put it this way. If you're a Nintendo fan, you already quietly know way too much about emulation. It's the only way to make it through the day.
Yeah.
But like
I thought I was picking up what you were putting
yeah,
down
yeah.
there, but,
But
I'm
like,
glad you just
but
flat
that's the
out said
thing
it.
is
Okay.
I still want this stuff to become available because like it should be a legal way for me to play these games.
And if there
Right?
was, I would do
Biggest
it.
thing, right?
But
Yeah.
if I'm
Like
going to SeaWorld with the dolphins.
I would like to be able, because I don't want to get too deep into that, because I'm sure John can probably agree that fucking Nintendo Online shit, the emulation, that is
don't even get me started.
Dog piss. But like that, like I saw fucking Kirby and the Crystal Shards in there, and I lost my shit, and then I found out that like all the issues that it had with it, and I'm like, well, fuck. Because I love my Switch, right?
I do a big update
because I'm lazy and I like to stay in bed and game. I'm like, I would love to be able to play these fucking titles from just my bed, but because it's absolute dog shit that I have to resort to completely legal and or legally ambiguous ways of emulation to play Kirby and the Crystal Shards at my desk, at my computer, when I sit here already 8 hours, 9 hours a day for work. So I'm like, I would like to be able to play this not at my desk. It's like, it's an accessibility thing. It is. It's like an accessibility. Like, I don't want to just have to be at my computer to access this stuff. I would like to be able to access it elsewhere. I would like to be able to, maybe take if I'm going to my in-laws for the weekend, I'd like to be able to take my PlayStation over there and boom, be able to access it. I'm not finna take my whole fucking rig over there. And it's an accessibility thing. So I completely get what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. I feel the same way.
I think for me, they would just make a ton of money off of me.
They would. Like on top of everybody.
I'm trying to move more towards getting my games digital, just to cut down on clutter in my place.
Same.
I own hundreds of games. I would rebuy a lot of them just so that I could, clear up space in my place. Like I know it's difficult for a lot of reasons, and sometimes the cost, for them is a lot. Microsoft is able to really like push a lot of the backwards compatibility stuff because they're Microsoft and they can burn some money that other companies can't. But I'd really just like to see it, and thankfully, at least it seems like going forward we're in a good place. All the PS4 stuff is playable on PS5, except for a very small specific. It's like
minuscule.
It's like 7 games I think that don't work on the PS5 or something like that.
The fact that we had to
Xbox
beg Sony to like please make things backwards compatible with
but I mean I think
I'm done begging
do that.
at companies.
Yeah, I think
should beg me.
I think going forward we're going to be in a good place.
I hope
but
so.
it's just trying to get some of these older
maybe
things
this
back
is the gateway into that. That's all I can really hope for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that for me, if you were to give me there's a couple games that I just keep buying when they just come to new.
How many copies of Skyrim do you have? Be honest, you legally cannot lie to me.
I have bought
listen,
Resident Evil 4
I'm gonna be
times.
honest with you. I was not that big into Skyrim. You know what I do keep buying though?
Thank God. GTA 5?
How dare you?
I'm like thinking of like the game
I am
of
so
like the
insulted
games
that
we
you would
can't
even think that about me. Oh my God.
the games we can't get rid of. Those are the only two I can think of that like they just keep
No,
like
those
I
are
can play on my
ones
fucking
that I
LG
want to
smart
leave
fridge.
me the fuck alone. I'm like, please leave me and my family alone. Dear God, no.
Me and my family. What do you keep buying?
I have to keep. First of all, now granted, this isn't a PlayStation thing, but in terms of games that I keep buying, just generally, I will buy Sonic Adventure 2 on everything that I can get.
Hell
on.
yes.
Stop. I'm
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Give me another platform to buy it on. In fact, let's go.
Bring it to fucking Switch. Oh God, it's over with. I ain't doing shit else.
Yeah.
BioShock.
Yeah.
Keep fucking playing BioShock. I would absolutely like give me access to all of the fucking Sly Cooper games. I'm gonna preface this by saying, if you see, I was planning on a Sly Cooper tattoo anyway, but I literally made a tweet. I said, if we get at some point get a new Sly Cooper game announced, if I do not already have that Sly Cooper tattoo, I will get it within a week of the new game being announced. And I said, favorite this tweet. I tweeted it for proof. I fucking love Sly Cooper. So if they have
that has got to be one of the
Cooper,
most requested sequels I have seen.
Check, John. Please give me a phone call if they announce a new fucking Sly Cooper, because you're probably that.
You won't have to
you need to check on me
apologize for that
more at
one.
that moment than you did with the fucking tornado.
I'll still apologize for it, but I will.
Yes, you can apologize. That is, I will keep buying Sly Cooper. I will honestly keep buying Ratchet and Clank shit, to be honest with you too.
I've got he's on like 3 or 4 platforms now.
I have
I'd
purchased
buy it
Resident
again.
Evil 4 on every platform it's been released on, which means I have
Yeah.
purchased like 11 versions of Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
I bought it
Hold on.
multiple
I
times.
want to tell you the game that I'd buy if it finally came back
Okay,
out.
Yeah.
do it.
Thank you. It's Mario Tennis for the Game Boy Color.
Oh hell yeah!
It's
Hell
the
yeah, that
best
game
tennis
ruled.
game that's ever been created. They've never come
I've
close
never
to
played
it
that.
since. I'm obsessed with this
one-
game.
Is that the one where like you had your own character?
Yes.
And you were...
It's the one that's like a full-on tennis RPG.
It's
Yeah.
so
I've never
good.
met another individual in my life that has played that game.
I'm
It
Never
rules.
obsessed
brought
with
it.
that game.
I thought it
literally
was
just
the coolest
bought
shit.
I bought my brother's Game Boy Advance, which by the way I'm pretty sure was mine and he stole, so I just bought my own fucking Game Boy Advance from him.
There you go.
Best
Yeah.
$50 I've ever spent because I
Hell
already
yeah, I
had
love
my
that
game.
shit.
I already had my Mario Tennis cartridge, but it wouldn't turn on, and I was freaking out. And he's like, "I'm gonna sell a bunch of my shit. You want it?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." Plugged it in, didn't work. Plugged it, like did some percussive maintenance, and it turned on. And I was going to sob. I was so excited that thing was back on. And then I remembered how small and dark the fucking Game Boy Advance screen is. It's not playable. I'm too old. I can't find. I just can't see it.
Handhelds before
It's not.
backlighting. Oh
Yeah.
god.
So
Everybody had those like worm light things.
50
that-
Snake light, the
attachments.
snake light, the
Can-
fucking
can-
snake light.
And a magnifier.
can we just
Oh, the
can I just
magnifiers, yeah.
can I just pay respect to the term percussive maintenance, which I will be appropriating in my personal life.
Yeah, it comes up all the
going-
time.
Going forward. I
think
love
it's
that
legitimate.
term. I
Yeah.
love that term. Yeah, no,
I feel like it just depends on the catalog. If you give us games, if you give games that are highly requested and that people want, people are going to be willing to spend that money. They absolutely will.
I spent 100.
Because you may have some people who will buy it long enough to play
Yeah.
the game and beat it and then end their subscription and then they may restart it up. Some people do that. Some people do that with Netflix. They'll be like, hey, I'm using or like Crunchyroll or Funimation, any subscription service. It's like, I was an avid GameFly user for years, and I was like, you know what? This is not going to be a benefit to me anymore, so I'm gonna, get rid of it. And then if it ever was going to be a benefit to me, then I would get it again. And so it's like it would be nothing but benefit to Sony to give us a good I feel like it all boils down to the fucking catalog, and it's going to vary
Honestly,
between
I
person to
think-
person.
Just from my
Go ahead, Justin.
experience with Sony's stuff, especially stuff like this, it's going to be very bare bones at first,
Yes.
but if they stick
Probably.
with it, I think it'll probably become a much better service
I hope so.
in the next couple years.
too.
I'm not very excited for it at launch, but I'm excited to see where it goes.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
and-
Well, and I'm sorry, John.
No. I'm sorry, Katie. Please go ahead.
Stop it!
Now it's
Well,
just
I
performative.
was just gonna say real quick. It was kind of like Nintendo. I mean, well, Nintendo Online still has issues, but like it was kind of like Nintendo Online. Like when it first released, I didn't have any interest in it, and then this next little round of games that they like brought in, I was like fucking Kirby and all this other shit, and then I found out that it was like fucking input delays and like all this other shit. So I was like, oof. But like I feel like that's kind of been the case when these little gaming subscription services first launch. That's what everybody's first reaction is. It's like it starts off very bare bones, and when they expand on it, they bring more people on board. I think that's kind of just how it goes.
Game Pass has changed so much since it initially launched. Like it was like a mildly interesting but underwhelming service at first, and now it's become kind of the cornerstone of Xbox's business going forward.
Right. Exactly.
So we do have this is a great conversation, but we do have one more topic that we need to, because I know that if I start talking about things like Nintendo Switch Online, I'm going to start talking about the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters and why they're not there.
We have to
and why
stop you.
And why Chrono Trigger's not there. And Derek is right.
F4.
Yeah, Derek is right.
I can
We
mute him.
Can't.
I can just do this like I just did. I'll unmute him. You're back, John.
Thanks, Derek.
It's a gimmick that doesn't get old.
Yeah, it was always good.
We're gonna wrap it up with a little discussion on giving credit where it's due. And what I mean is that the most recent example of this is Sam Maggs, who was the lead writer on Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. After a GDC talk by Insomniac lead designer Mark Stewart, she claimed that her work had been erased, namely in regards to the character of Rivet. including gameplay elements and the character's name. This guy was talking about how they developed the character and all that at GDC, but Sam Maggs responded, and I'm quoting here from IGN, "It's pretty upsetting and frankly offensive." And that's referring to the fact that she wasn't included in that talk, and added, "Sucks to have my work erased." She left the studio and states she was not credited for her work in the game, but was included under special thanks. And she said that this speaks to a broader issue of game devs being entirely erased from the narrative of their own work once they leave a studio. "I'm not even credited as a writer on this game, despite dedicating a year and a half of my life to it and creating Rivet's personality from scratch." And then
who wrote this article?
IGN.
Former
specifically?
SDGC member Rebecca Valentine.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh,
That's my girl!
Yes, it is. It is a Rebecca Valentine article. Reb, I am sorry for not saying that. I feel like an asshole now.
Don't worry, Reb. I fucking got you. Continue, John.
Well, I guess at least one of us did.
I
But
posted it in chat too.
no, but thank you, Pilnock, actually for pointing that out. I'm really glad you did.
I thought you were building up to it. I was waiting for you to.
Yeah.
No, I'm
I have no trust in men.
Nor should you.
Especially in this story.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, exactly, right. And then she was talking about it in a long thread, and she closed it out with this. She said, "I just want to stress, as I did in my other thread, that none of this works without the team. I come up with these guidelines, we shoot around ideas that fit within that box, I assemble a short list, we vote on names together. This is how the best level design happens too. That's why being cut out of the conversation hurts so much. It's a team effort, but at the end of the day, as lead writer, naming her was my job and my responsibility, and it was brought onto the project specifically to be a voice for the players who needed a Rivet in their lives."
Well, and
Also,
like,
Rivet's canonically gay.
yes.
Happy Pride, baby.
Yeah.
She did also mention, just like going through, just making sure she credited everybody. David Kim was the first one that suggested Rivet, and then they voted on it since then. But like, her whole thread was really enlightening, and that's why I wanted to make sure that we talked about it tonight, because I think it speaks to a much larger issue, especially like at these studios where we kind of only know like leads' names. Sam Maggs is somebody I've been a fan of for several years. She's written on.
I didn't realize that she worked.
She's written on so much.
I didn't realize she worked on Ratchet and Clank, and because they fucking took her out of the credits.
Thankfully,
Entirely?
Well, she's a special thanks.
Special thanks. Yeah, she worked on the character for a year and a half. She worked on the game for a year and a half, and she gets put under.
Several of the quotes and attitudes and things that they said in that GDC talk about like how they were deciding on names and what kind of rules they wanted to follow were things that she laid out as like, these are things we should look for. One of the quotes about somebody at the table going like, "Oh God, we cannot name her Ratchet. Like it cannot."
That's what I was
Ratchet.
afraid they were going to name her.
That was her. And it's like, so this guy giving this talk was referring frequently to work specifically she had done and things specifically she had said.
She named Gadget. Sorry.
Yeah. But
No,
I named so many RPG characters Gadget from Rescue Rangers, and she did that?
That was one of the names she thought of for.
It's also important to point out that
Sam.
That character.
It's also important to point out that Sam's the reason that the character design did not include makeup and big breasts.
Yes.
Remember that article blowing up however long ago that was, and we were all like, "That would be fucking stupid."
I don't know why. An anthropomorphic alien mammal needs big breasts, but I don't know.
You said she just ran around screaming Lombax titties every time they pulled up.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Every time they pulled up that design until they changed it.
Proving once again that sometimes the best move you can make for progress is simply to be obnoxious.
I was gonna say bullying works.
Yeah,
honestly, sometimes bullying is okay because
if it's an executive, not like some person.
Exactly.
I mean, I can't go back and bully Grant Monroe from high school. Like,
I have to.
Still mad at you, Grant.
I have to ask this: would this have happened if she was a man?
I mean, I think so, but that doesn't mean that there is not misogyny clearly inherent in what happened to her.
There's a huge element of misogyny here, considering that the guy who gave the talk was, Mark Stewart, who is a man, and completely eliminated any mention of Sam Maggs from his discussion on the creation
and look
of
at
Rivet.
specifically how much misogyny there is baked into like the shit that Sam had to push back against in terms of helping design.
What?
Yeah,
We
I
can't
think
give this alien mammal big titties? Why not?
Yeah.
Like,
I think there's enough misogyny in the situation as is without having to delve into hypotheticals. Like,
Yeah,
the actual situation is fucking bad.
yeah,
I do
Yeah,
not want
so-
to imagine it works.
right.
I feel
right.
like it's definitely one of those situations where it's like, do we? I mean, because I've unfortunately heard about that before, where people have left a studio and they get erased from the credits,
Right.
except for like a little
Well,
fucking.
we
It's
just had that
exceedingly
big story
common.
with
It's
look at
not.
Mercury
It's
Steam
exceedingly
with Metroid,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
how many people got cut from those credits because they left. They worked on
I
the game
remember
for
that.
80% of the development time and left right
Yeah.
at the end, and they got
Right.
cut. So
Right.
Too
And so
bad.
it's a thing that happens, but I do think that I definitely think it's you can say in confidence that because wasn't it also not only the follow-up, but like she not only got like basically erased from the credits other than that little piss poor ass little fake special thank you or whatever.
Thanks.
But then wasn't there like an article where she wasn't even like fucking mentioned or something like that?
Well, the original Reb's original article did not mention her, but that's because Sam was not
It wasn't.
mentioned.
No,
in
it wasn't.
the
It wasn't an
GDC
IGN article. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
remember where. Yeah. I don't remember where it was, but I think they were talking about like it was. I think there was a screenshot that I saw. I could be thinking about something else, but
Yeah.
I just feel like I think that it would have probably happened had she not been a woman. Do I think that that exacerbated the point? Absolutely. Because I mean, think about it. We live in a society. We live in a society and even in 2022, a day and age where women are not women. I mean, not even today's day and age. I mean, this is a current time thing. This is an old thing. I mean, just like for example, a lot of people don't realize that the woman that discovered the double helix structure of the DNA was a woman. Her design was stolen. And it was Watson and we've been taught, generally schools are taught like Watson and Crick, two men, but they actually stole her like notes, like broke in her office and stole her notes. So it's like there's just throughout history. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit my microphone. Throughout history, there's just so many instances of where women are not given credit for the things that they do.
Yeah.
And this is
Fitzgerald's too.
women of all, and this is women of all types, so it's like we just see that happen so frequently. So I feel like it was, like I said, I think this would have happened had she been a man and left the studio. But I think it added insult to injury that she was a woman, because it's like, not only do we not have enough of, that representation in game development anyway. So it's like, you're already just, it's like women aren't that, as populous as men are in this space. So it was even a blessing just to have her there. But then when she leaves, it's like an insult to injury sort of thing. Like I definitely think it sort of played a part, and it's like, oh, she's a woman. Let's just not include her in this and give her a little special thanks. I'm struggling. Sorry, I'm struggling to find words here because I'm just so baffled.
I think you're saying it really well.
Yeah, you're saying it really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just so baffled at the notion of just because you leave a company, you don't get credit for what you did.
Especially when leaving the company isn't necessarily your choice, especially if you left because
Right.
there was a bunch of sexism or racism or transphobia or whatever.
Right.
Like,
But even if
it's-
it wasn't, you could have just fucking left because you fucking felt like it. Just because I wanted to. Like, I was bored. I wanted to go find something else.
Yeah.
It does not matter. You should still get credit for what the fuck you did, because that doesn't erase what you did. And that'd be one thing if they
Right.
completely removed what she, like, if they, I mean, that would still be fucked up. But like, let's say they, but let's say in an example where that would be okay, right? Where if you had a game that was, some aspect of this game being developed was developed by somebody that was really fucking shitty, and it turns out that they were wildly racist, homophobic, transphobic.
They worked
and you
for
decided to
Blizzard, yeah.
basically, and then you decided to completely erase what they basically worked on.
Like
and
that's like
then
your
rework
composer,
it.
and you went, we're gonna get totally new music. Fuck this
Yeah.
guy. Fuck
Right,
everything.
exactly. Like,
Dying Light
that
2
would be
did this
understandable.
recently. with their script.
what?
They rewrote the whole game.
What game?
What game?
Dying Light 2.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they
Why was
rewrote.
that?
Yeah, they rewrote the whole game because the guy that was writing it originally, a lot of accusations came out about him. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Good on them. I mean, seriously, good on them.
Yeah,
And, like,
good
at a
on
huge
them. I mean,
expense, and they were still stood
the
for it,
writing in
yeah.
that game is kind of shit, but like, I'm at least glad that they.
Well, they had to
Sorry.
rush it apparently.
But I
Oh,
respect
right.
them.
So, I mean, maybe that's why. Fuck. But like, but see, like that makes sense, right? I mean, it would make sense to remove that from the game. Like that's what you should do. You should remove pretty much like all traces of whatever the fuck they did. So that would be an instance in which that would actually make sense. But it's like this person didn't do anything wrong. They just left, and it seems like there is a lot of spite. And you know, I obviously know that this
Petty.
is
It's petty.
yeah. There's a lot of speculation as to why Kojima did that whole situation, but it almost just seems like there's a trend here in which when somebody leaves a game studio, it is petty spite, and there's like they end up becoming the company becomes vindictive about it. Whoever's calling the shots rather becomes vindictive about it to the point where we're like, let's you know what I'm saying? It's just, and I don't.
Well, you know, a really good example of all this, like, you know, like Sam, like what happened to Sam is the most egregious example I can think of right now. Another good example, and Derek, I don't know if you probably didn't notice this or not, but the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, a lot of the individuals who worked on the original games are not credited in the credits for these. Some of them
happens in a lot of remasters.
It does.
Yeah, like
A
it
lot.
does. It does. People are given no credit whatsoever, and you know,
Think of all the people who are not as like popular and visible as Sam Maggs, who this happens to.
Yeah,
Well,
And you
somebody
just never
on our
hear their stories. So.
somebody on our Discord, you know, I'm not gonna name names or anything, but they mentioned that they have worked on 7 games and have only actually appeared in the credits for one of them because they've done a lot of contract work. And it's not even just AAA, it's indie stuff too. Like it's like an industry standard basically to not credit people if they leave before the game ships.
it's
sucks
such
ass.
bullshit. It's such bullshit.
One positive thing though I do want to mention,
Mass Effect
is-
2?
That's what I was gonna go for.
is
Well,
they were
the
able to so Sam does also say she had kind of threads that got split up and stuff, but she does say that she thinks the team at Insomniac is incredible, and her issues were really only just with a couple people at the top.
Right.
That's
And
promising.
She thinks the rest of the studio is incredible, and everything else about her experience was positive. And one thing I want to mention, and I'm very glad that the team was able to do this and that the leadership did not cut it out. There is an homage to Sam Maggs in Rift Apart. If you go to collect the Lorbs, they're about a Lombax named Maggs, and they kept that in there.
Oh, that's cool.
I love that.
What's
Cool.
what sucks
wanna
is
Even though
bring
she didn't get credited properly, the other writers on the team at least put something in for her, which
Yeah.
is probably
good solidarity.
extremely appreciated.
Yeah.
Worker
and-
solidarity, baby.
And again, this just goes to show that so many issues are with people at the top in these companies, and because it literally sounds like, and especially with this also leads into something I was saying last week with how hard she had to fight just to get a decent design and decent name for Rivet.
If you got to run
Yeah.
around the office screaming Lombax titties in order to actually, in
I'm
order
gonna
to
do it
actually,
tomorrow and I'll let you know what happens.
yeah, please do. I would like, yeah, I would
But,
love to know what the results are.
But yeah, and just a recommendation I have to other people, like try to follow people at your favorite studios that aren't just the leads and the people that appear in every single interviews. Try to get to know them. Sam is somebody I followed for years because I knew she was working at BioWare at one point. And she has since worked on really cool projects, including Rift Apart. And a lot of times you can get some really good insights from people and realize just what they had their hands in and kind of keep track of how they, because people move around a lot in the game industry. So it's kind of cool to follow them as they move to other companies. And maybe you can, if it's a writer, you can see
like,
some
see
of
their influence. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see their influence on other titles and stuff. And it's really cool. And I think that's something the game industry is not good about, is letting people that aren't the leads speak. And so I just recommend you check out some of the other people that you might not know.
May I provide
Please,
as we
Derek.
close out one
Yes.
example of good credits that me and
Yes,
Hemlock
this is a
both
very good
went
one.
to immediately. This is how shit should be.
Yes.
I remember a story when the Mass Effect Legendary Edition was coming out. And there is somebody who I do not remember their position, but they worked on Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 2 only.
And Mass Effect 3 DLC.
And the 3 DLC? Okay, thank you. I didn't know, I didn't remember that part. But only for the original releases, right? Had nothing to do with the Legendary Edition, was not really in touch with anybody at modern BioWare. And this person is trans, and they were they had still not found themselves at the time they were working on Mass Effect 2, so that their name in the credits of the original releases is their dead name. And they did not get in touch with anybody at BioWare, but BioWare still not only kept that person in the credits for where they were, but also updated their name to be their current name. Completely unprompted, unasked, which is like...
Yes.
That's what
really
it,
good.
that's being an ally, baby.
They
That's
did
what
it
I'm
in both
saying.
Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3's DLC.
Yeah.
Both of those credits, I'm saying, were updated with her real name.
And
So.
you know that was somebody, that was some developer that was still there that was just like,
She
"Look,
reached out to them.
we need to make sure we get this
And
right."
found
Which,
it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the sort of stuff we,
It would have been very easy for them to be like, didn't get your email, sorry, and did nothing. But
Right.
also very easy to just be a good fucking person, as it turns out.
Yeah.
So yay, thanks, Mass
A
Effect.
concept.
How sad is it that one of the happiest moments of this podcast is just hey, some people changed one line of text in one credits in two
Right.
credits
Just
rolls.
one single name.
Yeah.
and
And I got
also-
to think about
all it
Garrus for a little
takes.
bit, so
I
always
just
great.
want to point out. I just want to point out right in the middle of our conversation about people getting credit. The Rarbot account on Twitter tweeted out unnecessarily reductive, in my opinion.
I love that
So-
fucking account. It's my favorite on the entire goddamn site.
It's so fucking good.
It's so mean.
It really is.
We
It
used
really
to have a
is.
bot that pulled from all of the
Oh, it was
specifically
a disaster.
SDGC members.
Oh, we had to close
shut
that
it down because it was
Yeah.
deeply problematic very quickly, which I couldn't
Wonder
figure
why.
out how.
What? What do you? No, she's looking at me. I know she's looking at me. Look,
She's
This
definitely
bot managed to pull together the worst puzzle pieces to make things that none of us would say. This bot was spouting white nationalist talking points, and we were
Well,
like,
it could
"No,
also be
shut it
Derek
down."
tweeting
Well, look,
trans
look.
rights, and then someone else being like, "Fuck Derek Jeter," and then the bot is like, "Fuck trans rights," and you're like,
Right? That's
no,
exactly
Like,
what
what
happened.
is happening?
look. I went on I
Derek
went on a period where I was very, very heavily endorsing punching as many Nazis as you could.
You haven't
and
stopped.
I haven't stopped, but the bot was like, "Man, this word Nazi keeps popping up a lot," and we had to shut the
and
bot.
punching things that we do not want punched.
Yeah,
It was a problem.
Oh no.
we had to shut that motherfucker down. It was it got bad. I can't remember what the tweet was that did it, but somebody
Eventually, JT was just like, "This is it."
yeah, we
Yeah,
we
we
took
had
it
been
down.
on thin ice for a while, and then there was one where we're just like,
No, man.
this-
Yeah, that's gotta go. That's gotta go. All right. Well, we are just a bit past our closing time here, so we will go ahead and wrap it up. Katie, it is always a delight having you on. Where can people in chat find you? And I highly recommend you do find her.
Oh my gosh, please stop it. I'm so humble, and I just oh my God.
Your streams are
Please,
so
no
much
nice
fun. You got me
things.
to like so many games that I never would have even thought of. No joke. You did the scary ones. Oh no, it was a stuffed animal one, but it was spooky scary.
Five Nights at
Shit.
Freddy's.
No, it was
I
it
actually
was
never seen
recent.
that.
Yes, not Five Nights at Freddy's. It was
Animal.
not stuffed animal, but you're.
Oh,
you're
Little Nightmares too.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Little
I love
Nightmares
those
too.
games.
Okay, yeah. Little
I think
Nightmares
about
too,
that
okay.
all the fucking time, and I'm too
That
much
was
of a
an
baby to
amazing
actually
game.
play it. So it was getting to watch you and Bean. Yeah, that was great. I love your streams. They're so much fun. 10 out of 10.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Oh my God, my heart. Well, you can find me same place across the board, mainly Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, PikaChulita, that's Pikachu and then Lita at the end. My community which is my crowning achievement. I have spent the last 7 years that I've been creating content, curating a community that is nothing but promoting, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I've got a whole fucking community basically full of like what I say is fruits. Women in fruits is basically what the majority of my community is. And for the folks that aren't women in fruits, are the ones that are absolute 110% allies to the women in the fruit. So we've got a real, we've got a John's over there. So we've got a real good thing going over there. So if y'all would like to, come through and please join the community. We'd be happy to have you. Any friend of SDGC is a friend of ours. So I think you'll have a good time. I pretty much just tweet about games and Pikachu memes and thirst over fictional anime men and
great thirst,
cute videos and just and then games. That's about it.
Yeah,
that's about it.
That's exactly what everybody needs right now, I think. Please go check Katie out. Check out her streams, check her out on Twitter, and definitely check out her community. She's managed to build something really, really important over there. And of course, Pildock, one of our excellent community mods. Thank you so much for doing what you do for us.
I love harassing all of your users.
I know you
constantly
do.
Every day.
I know
uploading
you do.
Inappropriate emojis and seeing if anyone notices.
I know you do. Oh, trust me, it's noticed. It's noticed because of all the out of context SDGC Discord screen caps that pop up on Twitter. Every day I'm like, what am I going to say?
What now?
Make them much better.
Yeah.
I've
got big what now energy about me in that Discord.
You really do, but that's what we value about you.
Yeah.
And of course, I want to point out real quick, of course, you see the links in chat if you're in there. If you don't already follow us and you're in chat, please go ahead and hit that follow button. We would really appreciate that. We have a Discord community with about 350 people. We would love to get it to 500 by the end of the year. We value positivity. Wait, what's everybody laughing at?
Continue.
Nothing.
No, what's everybody laughing at?
Nothing. Continue.
What did I do?
Nothing.
All right, fine.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
I don't even know either. I don't know either. We focus on positivity, inclusivity, and mental well-being. And all the channels in there are always super. Derek, would you stop making that weird face? What are you doing? What is that?
Laugh again.
Oh my God.
We're all a little
What I like to
slap
call
happy.
a sour lip. That was a sour lip.
I just looked over. Derek's doing something. You're like, oh, it's so weird. And we've also got a bunch of merch, which you will find a link for in there as well. We've got shirts and hoodies and mugs.
Soft.
The shirts are super soft.
They're really nice.
Ooh.
I'm wearing one right now, actually.
Yep. Pilnock has one. I have one. Derek has one. They are extremely comfortable. And every dollar you spend on everything on that store goes towards one of various great charities, such as Black Girls Code and TakeThis.org and the Trevor Project. So everything, we don't make a single dollar from any of it. It all goes towards one of those charities. So not only will you look good and feel good, but you will also be good by giving some money to one of those great charities. And of course, follow us on Twitter at official SDGC. We got a lot of good content coming up over the next few weeks. Please look forward to all of that. What's that?
No, we don't.
I mean, we never have good content. We've got content coming.
Yeah.
There's things.
There's things coming. I can't tell you. They're probably not good, but we will let you be the judge of that. So if nobody has anything else, thank you for tuning in tonight. Take care of each other. And remember, kindness costs nothing. We'll see you next week.